Woman spends 3 years turning a bus into the most beautiful home people have ever seen. The hustle and bustle of the city life can get old after a while. Tons of people living in small spaces surrounded by a concrete jungle can make anyone want a quiet respite from the industrial noise. Jessie Lipskin was no exception. As a New York City native, she sought out a different way of living. She longed for freedom, sustainability, and a connection with nature that she couldn't seem to find in the city limits. So, heeding the advice that life is a highway, she concocted a scheme that would lead her to the adventure of a lifetime. One that didn't end quite as she expected. Jessie Lipskin was 27 when she made the craziest decision of her life. One of those decisions that make your friends and family question your sanity. Fueled by frustration with her cramped and crowded inner-city apartment, she chose to change everything. After research on the subject, Jessie thought a tiny house would be perfect for the new lifestyle she wanted to create. And not just any tiny house, but one on wheels, so she could have the freedom to go wherever she pleased. So Jessie settled on the idea that she'd create her own mobile home from the remains of an old bus. Her search began in earnest as she hunted online for a bus she may be able to call home. Finally, she found what she was looking for on eBay. Jessie won the bidding war for a vintage 1966 Greyhound bus. Only $7,000 later, she could start working to make her dream a reality. There was plenty to be done. The first order of business was getting the bus to New Jersey. At the time, it was all the way on the west coast in California. Driving across the country seemed simple enough, but there was one pretty serious problem. Jessie didn't have a driver's license. As in New York, she relied on public transportation all her life. Not only would she need to master driving, but she needed to become an expert in stick shift driving, as the bus was manually operated. Thankfully, Jessie had a friend who was willing to drive the vehicle to New Jersey for her while she worked on getting her license. Once the bus made its way to the East Coast, the DIY project of a lifetime would begin. Next, Jessie had to map out the space and decide what kind of layout she wanted to create for the interior. Doing this required her to completely gut the inside of the bus. After clearing the seats, she had an empty space to let her imagination run wild. When drawing up her plans, Jessie wanted to stay true to her principles of sustainability. She set out to use as many recycled, reused, and energy-friendly elements as she could possibly find, aiming to ensure she was creating something environmentally conscious. After Jessie got her plans together, she trusted professionals with many of the more challenging projects. If she was going to create the ultimate modern home on wheels, she needed to wire electricity and route plumbing, among other things she'd never done before. Starting with a blank slate meant Jessie had to purchase all the appliances and conveniences that accompany your average home. All the major renovations taking place took tons of time, so she could buy the essentials one by one. One of the most difficult tasks was creating the custom kitchen cabinets. Because of the tiny workspace, they had to make sure every cut was perfectly measured to fit the space. This area would become one of her greatest triumphs. Precision paid off, as the results of the kitchen were truly mind-blowing. After completion, Jessie had a fully functional stovetop and oven, plus the added bonus of an ever-changing view outside her kitchen window. The bathroom was another story. Jessie thought ahead by buying a bus with high ceilings, so her bathroom could accommodate a stand-up shower. She repurposed slats of mahogany wood for the area outside it, but the most important part of the home was yet to be complete. Her cozy bedroom was a major accomplishment. The chic wood floors and decorative elements made the Greyhound bus completely unrecognizable. Every little detail of Jessie's dream was finally becoming reality thanks to her hard work. As with any tiny home, storage and organization has to be a huge priority. Jessie included built-in shelves and closet system to make sure the space would work for her. In the end, she had 3 full closets in her bus. It took 3 years, but after all the blood, sweat, and tears, Jessie was living in her version of paradise, driving along the open roads and immersing herself in nature. The world was on her string. However, no one could have predicted her next move. After completing her masterpiece on wheels, she eventually decided to move on from the nomad lifestyle. She listed her home for sale on Craigslist for $149,000 after only a short time behind the wheel. Thankfully, the bus found a meaningful purpose. Jessie's bus would be called back to its original home in California. Luckily, the buyer didn't have any plans to ruin the incredible work Jessie had done over the years. The new owner wanted to make it so even more people could enjoy the alternative home. The bus serves as an Airbnb for people visiting the Joshua Tree National Park in California. Meanwhile, Jessie plans to work overseas to explore more of the world, though she definitely left an impact on the bus conversion world.